Hey, what's up soldiers? Yaniv here and welcome to FBA Bootcamp. Today we're going to go over the 5 biggest mistakes you can make on Amazon FBA. So let's just get right into it. No time wasting, no nothing. So the first big mistake that I see people make on Amazon FBA is actually, rushing your product research. You don't want to rush your product research. This is the most important thing that you're going to do on Amazon. Make sure that you're taking your time, you're doing your due diligence, you're checking for seasonality, you're checking for your profit margins, for all this stuff. This is the most important thing. So if you're going to spend time on anything, spend time on your product research. I can't tell you how many people I see who just try to launch the first product and obviously fail miserably because there is no demand. That is the biggest problem. So make sure that you're spending your proper time on doing your product research. Now, the number 2 is just buying too little units. Buying not enough units. If you're going to buy 50 units, there's no point of anything. There's no point of doing that because even if you do, you start selling, by the time you do your giveaways and do all this stuff, you're not going to have any units to sell. Maybe you'll start selling and then you realize that, I ran out of inventory in 2 days. So what's the point of that? It takes, 2-3 weeks for it to come in from China. So if you're going to start off Amazon, make sure that you have at least 200 to 300 units that you're starting off with. Otherwise, there's no point of doing it because you're not going to succeed with just 50 units or 20 units or whatever I see people, putting up in FBA sometimes. So the number 3 biggest mistake is having low profit margin. There are some people who think that it's okay to have low profit margins and, rely on volume to make their sales. And I fully agree with that. I do have some products that sell on ridiculous volume with low profit margins, but you do have to make sure that that you'll be able to cover your FBA fees. Which there are 2 kinds of, pick and pack and the referral fee. The pick and pack is just a fee that Amazon charges you based on the dimensions and the weight of your product. So you have to know that if you're going to do Amazon FBA, you have to make sure that even if you're going to do a low profit, high volume product, that you have enough profit to actually make some money, because there are, fees that you don't know exist. Like for example, you might forget how expensive shipping costs is, or you might forget about the FBA fees, or you might forget about that you even got to do, some advertising. So if you have $3 profit or $4 profit and you're doing your advertising, you might actually, break even or even, make $1 or $2 profit. But who wants to make $1 or $2 profit when you realize that you're also getting, customer returns, which actually are taken directly out of your Amazon account. So you could actually be selling stuff on Amazon and losing money if you're not careful. So that's the number 3 biggest mistake. Make sure you know your profit margins to the T, and make sure that you do have high enough profit margins to make some money. So the number 4 biggest mistake is talking to suppliers without having a professional template or without knowing what you're talking about. These Chinese suppliers have been doing this thing for a long time. They know, people come and go, and they know how to take advantage of newbies. So make sure that you do know what you're talking about. Make sure that you know what are acceptable prices for shipping. If you know what EXW means, what FOB means, what kind of shipping rates there are. Just in general, make sure you know what you're talking about when you're talking to a supplier. I would highly recommend finding a template online, or even message me and I'll send you my template, the one that I use to speak to manufacturers. So the number 5 biggest mistake you can make on Amazon is having a bad listing. Okay, you can have the best product in the world, you can have the most amazing product, but if you don't have a good listing, if your title is not optimized, if your keywords aren't optimized, if your bullet points aren't good, and if your pictures suck, no one's going to buy your product. You can have the best product out of all your competition, but no one's going to buy it if everything looks bad. So make sure that everything is optimized, make sure everything is looking good, and I will have videos in the future showing you how to do this. So make sure that you're doing your best to make your product look good, and stand out from the competition. Take your time when you make the listing, guys. Effort is rewarded. In life, effort is rewarded. So put time into it and you will get, what you deserve. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid in Amazon FBA. I'll go through them really quickly one more time. So 1 is rushing your product research. 2 is buying not enough units, to actually make some money. 3 is not having high enough profit margins to cover your FBA costs, your shipping costs, your advertising costs. 4 is talking to suppliers without being professional and letting them, take advantage of you. Number 5 is bad listing and missing out on major keywords and optimizing your listing as a whole. So soldiers, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you have any questions, leave them down below, or you can even YouTube message me and I will get back to you. And remember guys, you're only one product away.